What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It is match day. It's March 29th. We got Juve and Genoa, and Tudor'S first match as head coach of Juve. Obviously, has been back as an assistant with Pirlo, but now at the helm and running ship. He talked the talk. Today's the time to walk the walk. Will the players back him up? They're out of excuses, and we're ready to tackle it all. I got Trim. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to this match today. That's for sure. We'll see what Tudor's got up his sleeve.
There we go. Oh yeah, and we'll get to those lineups. One yesterday sent me asking a few questions at the back line, but we'll get into it. Skanga, how you doing, brother? It's been a while. What the hell?
It's been a long damn time. I wasn't sure how the microphone goes, the lights. I'm figuring it out. We're back. It's good to see the chat here. Good to see you two. Big day. A new dynasty starting today. I don't want to use the D word. Somebody already used it. I don't want to use it. Well, the Tudor dynasty. You know, is it going to be a dynasty? Is it not? We will soon find out, gentlemen.
Get into it. We'll get into it, everybody. Great to see you in the chat here. Bucci, go easy on your boy Berto. Okay, take it easy. Apex, Swati, Forza Juve in there. Adam Khan. Great to see you all. Tuna steaks in there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's cook Bianconeri. I think you got to put those periods should have been broken up there. I mean, I don't want to cook any of the Juventini. Okay, so take it easy there, Tuna. All right, easy. But everybody, we're going to have a lot of fun today, okay? A lot going on in the rumor mill, a lot of question marks, even with Tudor himself. And, you know, everybody kind of asking the question about this coaching news, and it's not going to go away, everybody. It is going to be something that we're going to discuss, but we'll start off with some of the rumor mill. Lex probably got a little fired up there yesterday when Rodrigo De Paul listed as a target. Yeah, he's kind of like the midfielder of Domenico Berardi rumors for Juve, because it feels like for a while now Rodrigo De Paul is in there in the mix. Now, it's said to be around 30 million euros. He's 30 years old, etc. But how do you guys feel about the Rodrigo De Paul links? We'll start with Trim here on this one. How do you feel about it?
I think it's almost like a few years too late, if that makes sense. Like when he left Udinese to go to Atletico Madrid, that might have been the moment or the time to kind of, bring him in. And just his player profile, I feel like we have a lot of similar kind of style players right now. So it just, for me, if you're looking for an addition in the midfield, I don't think he'd be like one of the guys that I'd look at right now. Obviously, there's other high profile players like Tonali, but that obviously costs more. So it'll be interesting. But for me, I think that ship sailed on DePaul.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Skanga, Rodrigo De Paul, Argentinian.
Can you show that notebook that you have there on your desk? Can you show everybody that notebook? I bet you if you go back, look how thick it is. Look how thick that book is. If you go back maybe every second page, you'll find Rodrigo De Paul written on there. What the hell are we doing here? He's probably in there 70 times.
There's a lot of notes on your performance, to be honest, in this book. A lot of Skanga notes. But, yeah, Rodrigo De Paul, we'll find a lot of De Paul in there.
Yeah, he just 30 million for a 30-year-old. I like how he's a bit of an asshole. I think we're still lacking that sort of player type. But is there nobody who's 24 years old who can do that?
You know,
that ship sailed. Sorry, Lex, that ship sailed.
30's not that old. I gotta say that. Okay, I'll protect myself.
I would hope not.
Here, okay, so 30's not that old. I think he's got good experience. I think he's a solid midfielder. 30 million is obviously like, it's not chump change, but it's also not crazy. I think if you're looking at Douglas Luiz leaving, I'm fine with Rodrigo De Paul being like a guy that comes in if you're saying goodbye to Douglas Luiz. I'm actually fine with that, because you do need good rotational guys, and he has experience, and he's a good player. So I'm kind of like in between, because then I see him with his hair when he gets the cornrows going, and I'm like, stay away from this guy. Okay, so I'm kind of caught between two minds with this player, but the devil will always be in the details. If you're saying goodbye to certain guys, like Douglas Luiz is being rumored that we're going to try to probably break free. Do you guys want to see that happen? Skanga, do you want to see us try and break even and say goodbye to Luiz?
God, Lou really hyped this guy up. I did not watch him before he came to Juventus. Hand on heart, no idea who this guy was. He shows flashes of it. Like, he shows flashes of what he can do. It's just he hasn't been able to put together consistently. I would have liked to see him under another manager, but if we have the ability to break even on him, nothing lost, nothing gained. I'm going to lean towards, let's just cut our ties. It's unfortunate. I really wish it would have worked out with Douglas Luiz, but I think the way this team's going, I think let's just break even and move on.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat unless something crazy happens here in the remaining 9 matches. Like, he gets in and he starts balling out for Igor there. I'm kind of in the same boat. Probably try to break free. Trim, where are you at with Luiz?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for him. It's almost like he can't find his place within the lineup. I mean, to be fair to him, it's kind of injuries, but also just our previous manager just couldn't figure out where the best spot for him is. But for me, the fitness is the biggest thing. Like, guy was never injured in his previous teams, right? And then all of a sudden now this year he's hurt. It seems like every third, fourth game. So I think for me the biggest thing is I wouldn't mind moving on from him, obviously, and breaking even. But I want to know what's on the backside of that, like who's coming in to replace him. But obviously, like I said, if it is DePaul, I guess, we'll see. But I would look more towards, trying to go for a home run and getting Tonali again. I know that there's a lot involved with that. Like, we need the money and the cash for that. So we'll see. Who knows? Unless they're interested in that swap deal, maybe it helps out both clubs. Send Luiz back the other way with a little bit of cash if that's what it takes. So
is Tonali that much out of reach?
Tonali? Tonali's
Yeah.
going to be a healthy price tag, 60 to 70. I think he carries 7 mil net plus 2.5 in bonuses for annual wages and stuff. Like, it's healthy numbers. I think we'll be able to tackle it, but a big kicker there is going to be Champions League revenue. You're gonna top 4 is critical here and it will change the plans because Tonali's in there. Again, you're gonna hear the top 2 priorities, which are big swings, and it's not just Giuntoli. This came from Scanavino as well when he was talking about Juve's planning to get back to taking some big swings on players. So they want 2 big signings coming in the summer. To try and just strengthen the squad, etc. And that was nothing to do with Giuntoli. That's just the way they want. They want to get back to getting the numbers where they need to be. There is some news there with Elkan, etc. we will get to. But players in general right now, everything feels like a question mark. You've got rumors with Cambiaso that maybe it's not going to be City. Maybe Liverpool will come in and strike since Trent Alexander-Arnold could be saying goodbye and taking off. You've got Chico Conceição. You've got Kalulu is rumored to be a lock, but you've got Gatti. Like, all these guys that kind of had issues. Kenan Yildiz in the news as potentially being a move here. So, guys, is everything kind of up in the air? Do you see things, with these 9 games, we see how things go and guys somewhat fighting for a job? Or are you locked in on certain guys? Let's go down the list. Cambiaso, maybe he could have a change of heart. If he was one of the guys that was having issues with Thiago Motta, the club says goodbye. Maybe he reverts back to that famous quote that Juve is my Real Madrid. And maybe that happens. Do you still want to see us? Is the devil in the details depending on the deal? Are you open to the move? Do you want to see him locked in? How do you feel about Cambiaso?
There's 2 different roads, though, right? So it's either with Champions League or without. I think without Champions League, I think 27 gets sold. 100%. I think he's getting sold no matter what without Champions League. With Champions League, I don't know. I can't. I can't see a lot of players getting released if we make Champions League. I could just see us sticking with what we have and then filling the holes as needed. I'm sure some players are going to go here or there. If we want to keep going down the list, Yildiz, I don't see him moving at all, with or without Champions League. I think Al can probably put a stop to that. Kalula's what, 17 million?
Yeah.
That one's a done deal. Other than that, I don't know. Flip it over to Trim before we start going down too far down the list.
Trim. Would you move Cambiaso before Yildiz? Would you move Yildiz before Cambiaso?
No, I would definitely move Cambiaso before Yildiz. For me, I would be very, very surprised if Yildiz got moved. Just because of many different things, like his game-breaking ability. He's a little bit younger. There's just so much untapped potential there. For Cambiaso, not to say that I feel like he's reached his level or his kind of peak right now, but I just think that we've seen enough of him to know that, yes, there is a small margin where he could get a little bit better at a different club. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got sold and played very well at his next club. I mean, that's kind of what happens when, if you want to be known as a good club in buying and selling, like, you got to be able to develop players. And if they go on and they bring you in a lot of cash, like, you want them to perform somewhere else. Otherwise, teams aren't going to look at your players and make deals with you, right? So I think for me, I would definitely move Cambiaso before Yildiz. But to Tony's point, like, it will depend on Champions League because they may stand pat. I still think someone gets sold no matter what. Yeah. Whether they make Champions League or not, someone will get sold because I do believe that they really want to try to fund that big move for Tonali. If Tonali's the guy that they really, really want in the middle of the park, I think someone's going to have to fund that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I mean, we're staring down the barrel of one big sale no matter what. I've been saying this for a while. Like, one big move is going to have to be made. Those are your two big moves. If you're looking at this Juve roster right now, unfortunately, it's one of Cambiaso or it's one of Kenan Yildiz. Some will fight the fight that Cambiaso is the one that should stay because of the versatility and all this, and some will fight the fight that it's Kenan Yildiz. I'll be quite honest. I mean, it sucks either way, but Yildiz for me is one that I really didn't like how he was being left off of games, and that Fiorentina one spoke volumes and stuff. I mean, I know that there's a lot of rumors right now about what was said in training sessions, but in the aftermath to something like that, like Juve firing Motta with 9 games remaining, etc., let's just pump the brakes a bit, because there's guys that watch the training sessions that are actually there, that are reporting what's going on and what they see, etc. Nobody's ever come out and said that he was attacking him verbally and saying stuff like, who do you think you are, Lionel Messi, etc. And now in the aftermath, you start getting guys looking for their 15 minutes, and all of a sudden it's he said this, he said that, he said, don't worry about it. The guy's gone. Motta's gone. Yildiz will be taken care of. I think that the organization values him highly values him. And I think they value Cambiaso as well highly, but sometimes business has to kick in. So let's see what happens. I do agree with Skanga's earlier comments. Kalulu seems a lock. Cambiaso and Yildiz, let's wait and see. I'd like to see them keep Yildiz and definitely move forward that route. I'd like to see Cambiaso stay as well, but I just don't really see how it happens unless Elken just jumped in and said, you know what, here's your bond. We did get a bond, a 15 million euro bond apparently, to just help out with Motta's goodbye. That could go up to 100. That's just him giving that safety net in case we do not reach top 4. That's where it's at. That. So, I
didn't like it. I didn't like that. I didn't like that comment. I normally stick up for Elkin. I guess people can call me an Elkin Slappy, whatever the hell you want. The 15 million, I believe he said, was if Motta doesn't find another job, right? We're still on the hook for he's going to cover that. But the news of him, or whoever leaked the news of them potentially giving 100 million euro bond, it's like an out. like
Yeah.
an out for not making Champions League. I didn't like that. Maybe he has to announce at this point because there was the board meeting and it's something that has to come up and they have to be aware of any sort of bonds that are coming in the future. Blah, 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 blah. Still didn't like it. It's kind of like, don't worry, guys, I got you. Even if you suck ass for the last 9 games, no. You have to make Champions League. Still the goal.
Yeah, it's I get it. And it's a timing thing. And I would rather have the safety net than not. So it's kind of like one of those
100%.
things. As far as the team goes, I mean, these guys should have been read the riot act a long time ago. So if they haven't by now, then it's a joke anyways. So I really don't think that this should be anything that changes anything like that. Igor Tudor, obviously, talking the talk. We talked about it today. The team's got to walk the walk. They got no more excuses, period. These guys have no more excuses. So we'll see. The Elkan news, in terms of him even addressing the shareholders with no mention in the write-up of Juventus, obviously was met with speculation that he's looking to sell, etc., all these changes. There's a lot of question marks around Juve. I don't think I could think of a time where absolutely every phase or every every corner there's a question mark. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can remember a time. It's like, and we talk about stability. You talked about Thiago Motta and creating stability, and I've long said that the stability comes over and above. Like, we've been scrambling from the head office sector, but this is like a prime example. A million questions around Juve, nobody knows. Does Elkan want to sell? I don't care about what they say in open media that, oh no, we're not selling. I don't care about that. Like, it's a legit question right now, and everything is gearing up that way. And actions sometimes speak louder than words. And if you look at how this team has navigated through moves and what they've done with the books in such a quick, short period of time, it would give you the indication that maybe, yeah, they're trying to make it look pretty for a sale. In the background, you've got Andrea Agnelli trying to come up with connections, trying to do everything. All of a sudden, you've got Tether pop out of nowhere that was linked to Andrea Agnelli. They got 8% or 9% shares. And this guy won't shut the fuck up about how he wants in and they want to do more and make Juve great again. He's got to stop saying that, by the way. But, you know, like, there's question marks everywhere. Question marks on the roster, question marks with coach, even though Igor Tudor just came in. So it's a pretty intense moment in time, right? So, like, everything can be put under a magnifying glass. All we can do is wait and see. And in terms of this office, we've got to get things shored up at the office. Giorgio Chiellini in the reports as getting that promotion, taking over that role of Nedved. And you know what's funny? Remember how much speculation was like, what does Nedved even do? What the hell does this guy... Remember that everybody used to say that? Mm-hmm. If you can't figure it out this season, because this season, if you're going to need a bridge from upper management to the locker room, I think this season showed you how big that void is.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Big time. Having that guy that's got the respect of the locker room to bridge the gap between management and the locker room, that was always Pavel. And if you can't see that this team needs that, like a crackhead needs a hit, yeah, we need that. So Giorgio Chiellini, beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Don't do drugs, by the way.
Good point.
Now, in terms of another name, Michel Platini acquitted. 10 years, you guys.
Don't even remember what the trial was for.
Yeah,
10
I know.
years. Mismanagement, misappropriation, fraud. Him and Sloppy Sepp Blatter get acquitted. Okay, Michel Platini. Would you take him as a president of Juventus?
You know he's going to hit the microphones more than these other two schlubs do. So I'm leaning towards no, but you want to know something? It'd be a good kick in the teeth that this organization needs. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it.
3-time Ballon d'Or winner, Juve legend, legend of the game. But
Legend.
UEFA corruption, enemies,
Yeah.
targets.
Just don't give him a landline. Don't give him a landline. Don't give him any sort of like writing pads or paper. Don't give him any of that.
Platini?
He wouldn't be my first choice because I still think, and I'm still holding out hope that Agnelli comes back. I think he's the guy that we need to come back. But again, they both kind of come with baggage, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So both got their enemies. So I mean, who knows?
That's
maybe
why, like, when somebody brought that up about Platini, I said, are we going to escape that anyways? Like, I don't think you're ever going to escape that, to be quite honest.
Right.
I just don't think you're going to escape that at Juve. And I'll be quite honest. I mean, there's a level that we had to, like, somewhat kind of give in after all the shit that went down. And you know what? You just got to play nice, and you got to just stay out of trouble. Keep on the straight and narrow path. But there's a part of me that felt like maybe we went a little too overboard. And maybe like it's a little bit of kiss ass now. And now Calvo getting in with Siriasa. It's like, guys, it's always been Amici di Nessuno. Don't forget that they wouldn't fucking hesitate to fire at you guys. And always have and always will. So there's this part of me that's like, take it easy. And that's why I wouldn't truly give a shit about the enemies of Platini, enemies of Agnelli, etc. If I'm looking at this guy straight up from a work perspective, the guy was there, obviously. Hey, when you're acquitted, if the glove don't fit, you're full of shit. So he's acquitted. That's all good. He's run something massive. He could do it. But I say it shouldn't stop there. And even if it was Agnelli as opposed to Platini, I want to see a group. I want to see a group, and I wouldn't mind an older head with some new blood and somebody younger, because Del Piero, which is everybody wants Del Piero president, etc. I don't think I'd like to see it alone. I think I need to see like a serious group there and somebody next to him as well. Maybe shared presidency, not so much president and vice, but like actually two guys that can get the job done. I don't know. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about this,
Well, you bring up an interesting, when you say the young and the old group, unfortunately, Serie A is still run by a bunch of goddamn dinosaurs. So I still think you need that old head somewhere, whether it's the first position or second position, whatever, president, vice president, whatever you want to call it, to deal with those idiots. Because that old boys club isn't going to change anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of have to play it both ways, whoever it is. Serie A, what a bunch of clowns.
Big time.
Anywho.
Big time. Well, we'll see. I'd like to see a little bit of a mix, but nonetheless, a lot of changes and a lot of question marks. Obviously, we had a big change, and that's Thiago Motta getting axed. Had to happen.
I held on for a long time.
The players, that speaks volumes. This guy had less guys than Sarri reach out to say goodbye and post. That's impressive, actually.
That says a lot.
Imbengula and the guy who just got ACL repaired. So it was just the two, I believe, right?
Got two.
Yeah.
And, at least there's some good laughs. People were able to laugh about it, have some fun. I don't know. We got to play this because it made me laugh my ass off. And I think we broke a record for how many times I got sent this thing and how it got tagged. But let's play this for everybody here. Good stuff. There you go. The Gatti and Vlahovic dishing out the te there. So yeah, there you go. We've made it mainstream with the te there. Absolutely loved it. I thought that was hilarious. But Motta had to go. Absolutely had to go. But now the players, like we said, no more excuses. Absolutely none. For Igor Tudor though, holy smokes, man. If you're going on feelings and you're going on vibes, man, what a press conference to kick things off, man. Like, holy shit. And you don't want to get too carried away with pressers or anything like that, but you could genuinely feel how happy this dude is to be here and get this shot. And I said it all along, massive respect, because who the hell's going to walk in with no guarantees?
And 9 games left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 9 games. You got a 3-game round robin in Club World Cup and then knockouts, like with zero guarantee. Even if you get this team into top 4, which is a dogfight right now, you get no guarantees. Just an option that is still in Juve's hands. There's nobody that's taking that. So massive respect to him. You could see in the presser how genuinely happy he is, but he said all the right things. And it felt like, you know, he understands the moment and the situation, arguably, maybe even more than some of the guys that are here.
That's a good point.
Yep. Like, yeah, I can agree with that.
And that's gonna be paying dividends, I think. You know, of course, we got to wait to see the team plays, but if the team, they can't get fired up with this guy, and they can't bring it and at least have, beyond tactics, beyond, you know, how the games go, if they can't bring that energy, that fire with Tudor at the helm, then I don't know what the hell it is that we just got. Up. Yeah, blow the whole thing up. We got a bunch of pansies in there, like, beat it. I don't know what to say, you know, but he's got all the players backing him. All the guys reached out to him. Everybody's offering whatever they can of assistance to Tudor. All these old school guys want Tudor there. Tacchinardi, Delivio, Thuram, etc. I love the stories about the old. He got emotional when he talked about Lippi. I actually got emotional about that too, and it's cool to have somebody with those ties. Now, this is where the asshole in me kind of comes out. There's still no guarantees, and even if he gets the job done, I say Juve needs the best manager available in the summer. However, Tudor could become that guy, depending on details and how things go, because the devil is always in the details. So I'm not going to write.
Yeah, we're not running a daycare here. We need the best coach possible. If it's him, great. If it's not, let's go get the new guy.
Yeah, the emotions are tough to separate, because I tell you, I love this guy as a player. Loved this guy as a player, and you know, I guess sometimes I take for granted, and you know, that not everybody has been or is old as hell like myself. Ganga, okay. Sometimes I take that for granted, but for anybody that doesn't know or isn't familiar or isn't aware, like, this guy was with Juve from 98 to contractually 2007, okay?
Right.
Central defender that also played as a defensive mid, played with a ton of beauties, Tacchinardi, Ferrara, Montero, etc. He was always physical, super physical dude, just a big, nasty guy back there. Over 100 appearances for Juventus. Didn't score a bunch, but when he scored, my God, he had a cracker in Champions League against Deportivo La Coruña. It was a volley from like 21 out that he just ran into and just bulleted this thing. Some big goals. Injuries, unfortunately, played a big part in his time towards the end at Juventus, and we didn't get to see him as consistently as we would have liked. He did manage to win 2 Serie A titles with Juve. That was 2001, 2002, and then 02, 03. Part of the 03 Champions League squad that reached that final. Tudor was a easy to like character at Juve because of how he played the game.
Did he go? Someone mentioned that he doesn't get enough credit for coming to Serie B in 2006. Was he on that squad? So I'm not doubt. I just don't remember him.
Well, that's why I said, like, his contract ended in 07, but his injury status, he wasn't technically really involved. That's the thing. And it was because of injuries and stuff. He had an ankle thing that he just couldn't shake. So he was contractually with us, but
the team, ultimately
ultimately didn't really play much of a part at all, unfortunately. But that's kind of the rundown with Igor, and he's one of those names that's associated with a lot of the great players through that period from 98 to 2007, etc. That's why a lot of us have these feelings around this guy. That's why he's got everybody on board and we're all rooting for him. Now, let's see how that goes. What to expect, lineup, number-wise, etc. Well, we will get to the lineups as we got Juve Genoa today. We're going to take a look quickly at Genoa and what they are going to do. Let me get the right screen up here first.
What's up?
So, 4-2-3-1 coming up from Genoa. Miretti, Malinovsky. Oh my God, this has Juve nightmare written all over it, eh? Holy smokes. Malinovsky, you know, is going to crack one from 30 yards out, that mutt. And Miretti maybe following suit with these other guys, showing us what's up. We'll see what happens, but that's what we're going to see from Genoa. It should be clamped down for the most part, looking to strike. Malinovsky will be kind of a key cog for them, as will Miretti. Yeah, across the back, not too much crazy. De Winter, another, you know, name associated with Juve, so we'll see how things go, but nothing too flashy from Genoa. They just play a gritty game, but they have guys that play some smart football, and they look to play very, very quick in transition. We just have to be aware. I do expect us to control this game, but, you know, in doing that, and how aggressive Tudor will be what depends on how many doors open for opportunity for Genoa. Now, when we get to Tudor, well, we have one that came out this 3-4-2-1. Okay, this is SofaScore claiming Gatti in the heart, Kalulu on the right, Vega on the left, Weah and McKennie as your outsides. Colt Miners is one of the pivots. Kolomuani, Yildiz behind Vlahovic. Very, very interesting. And then we get Albanese coming out with this.
This is
this I have probably more issues with. Okay, so I gotta say, I highly doubt that this is it too, to be honest. But what do you think about this one, Skanga?
He hasn't been wrong very much.
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Yeah, towards the end of Mota, he started getting it wrong. Yeah, he was on fire leading up to that. Yeah, okay. As he should be. I mean, he sleeps at J Hotel, but yeah, he started to get it off. And honestly, I don't know about this one. But what do you think about it?
I like it. I like it. I think who knows? Who the fuck knows if this is going to work or not? I like it. I just don't like, maybe not Kelly, maybe Vega if Vega's healthy instead of Kelly there. Other than that, let's rock and roll with it.
Yeah. For me, it can't be Kalulu in the heart of a back three. He's got to play on the outside. If you are going to use those guys, Gatti definitely has to be in the heart of it. But I'd like to see Vega out of all of our defenders in the heart. Mm-hmm. Gatti on the right, Kalulu on the left. Nico Gonzalez is not a wing back. And we got to stop fucking around with this guy because we're not doing him any favors. He's not a wing back.
Should he be where Colt Miners is?
Yeah, if you're going to play Nico, that would be the spot. And I wouldn't do it anyways, to be honest. My lineup is a 3-4-1-2 if he wants to go with this type of a shape. And it would be Vlahovic and Kolomuani with Yildiz just behind. And then I like everything else. I would use Weah as your outside left because McKennie's more comfortable on the right, and I would move him on the outside right. That's all I would change. And I think you stay in this shape and you go from there. If Colt Miners plays, it should be as one of the pivots and he should substitute one of those guys out. I think we need to stop overthinking shit. And it's one of the things that got the last guy in trouble. So stop fucking around. But Trim, what do you think about this one when you look at it?
Lloyd Killa Kelly. Definitely don't want him playing. At least not starting. I'd have him on the bench. I do like what you mentioned about putting Gatti in the heart and then Vega and Kalulu out there, or Vega in the heart and Gatti and Kalulu. I think that trio is a better option for us. And then, if he sticks with the 3-4-2-1, It's pretty simple. Just take Coop out, put him on the bench as a pivot rotational guy behind Thuram and Luca, and then I would put maybe I'd start Nico with Yildiz up there, and then in Nico's spot on the right side as a wing back, I liked your show for Weah. I think Weah and McKennie on the outside, that's the play to start,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can kind of mix and match. But see, this is where it gets interesting because, as you can see, there's no Chico Conceição on that lineup.
Yeah.
Positionally, where would he fit? This is where I'm kind of struggling, and I know it ties into redemption, or do we redeem Chico at the end of the season? I think it's going to really depend on formation and who is the manager, but it'll be interesting to see him down the stretch where they put him, because I don't know necessarily. I know for sure he would not play as a 9, and I don't think I could see him behind the striker, so I'd like to see where they'd put him. I don't know if he could play in that wingback role.
I think when it comes to Chico, this is where we'll start to see if he's got the tactical versatility like to his game and whatnot. But he would definitely have to play as one of those two behind the striker, because those guys have the freedom to move to the flanks and operate. So it's like, it's one of the things I wanted even when he was playing under Motta, is don't glue yourself to that sideline. Move in centrally when the time permits and whatnot. This just opens the door for that to happen. Essentially, he's got to do the same thing. Find the space, attack the space. But Chico, I'm interested in seeing him play in this type of setup. I do think we'll see him this game. For the love of God, do not use him as a wing back, okay? Just don't do that. Just keep it straightforward. Those guys at the top, it doesn't have to be them behind the striker too. It could flatten out and they could play wide, and then you make it a 3-4-3, etc. Like, this gives you a lot of flexibility. Not a lot of people like the 3-man back line, etc., but it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you play, and arguably can make you easier to adapt to your opponent in game and stuff. These are huge for Juve, which has had a nightmare adapting to games this season and getting any kind of a shift from one half to the next. So it's going to be an interesting storyline. But Chico, for me, I still overall want to see the guy retain. But these 9 games and how he gets used and what he shows will obviously, I think, play a big part.
So his previous 30 have no bearing, and if we redeem it, I'm asking the question to you guys, does his previous 30 have any bearing really on if we redeem it? It's basically these 9 with the new coach.
For me, I like to see him retained. I always have. I just think at that price tag, you don't get a guy with that type of potential usually, and when we look across the line and what we've had to pay 40 million for historically, he's in line with those players. Does he have shit to work on? Absolutely. Everybody does. Quality of crossing, etc., all this, but I think we're going to start to see the separation of what was going down with Motta and where guys actually stand. Because the argument for Motta and anybody that was on his side was claiming that, these guys just aren't good enough, and that he's actually done quite well with what he has there. The counter was that we are grossly underachieving for what we have. Enter Tudor for 9 games, and this is the first time in a long time you get to see a coach come in mid-season, a little bit deeper than mid-season at Juve, but you might get more answers this time than you would in making a coaching change at season's end, because the season's still ongoing. So we're going to find out, I think, where that needle's kind of pointing to more than not. With Chico, I want to see him retained.
For me, it's pretty straightforward too. Like, I definitely feel that you have to factor in the entire season, but obviously we got to see how he's going to fit under Tudor. But for me, that price tag, you don't find players that often for that price tag. So I would be totally fine with redeeming him. He's still young. He's got a lot to prove still, and to learn, and to further develop his game overall. I think too, if he does stick around, and depending on who we bring in as a manager and depending on formation, he could actually improve his versatility and show that he is versatile. So like to Berto's point, if they put him behind the striker, there's so many options in a 3-4-2-1 that he can show his qualities. So I would like to see him redeemed personally.
Is there still a chance that he might like grow a little bit taller? Or is that no?
No, man. Great center of gravity. Tough to get off the ball. Like that's key.
You gotta hang him. You gotta hang him upside down by his feet. Like
we don't need
for
a bunch
about an hour
of beams. Does that
every
work?
game and
Put him in the
stretch
rack.
out a bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's an old school Italian nonno thing. Yeah,
Well,
you
let me
want to
put it
get
this
taller?
way.
Okay, we hang you up like the Supersata in the cellar. Okay, like no, it's
Well,
not
let
gonna
me put it
happen.
this way. It didn't work for me, so it's probably not likely. So
Got Trimmy just hanging in a cellar, trying to get taller there. It's all good. We don't need a bunch of beam pulls anyways. Chico's good. Okay, 30 million for Chico is a steal coming in from Michael G, and I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, we got a bunch in Storm the Barn. It's time to talk about this game. Okay, as far as Juve goes, attitude and approach, how far is that going to take you in the remaining 9 games? I think it takes you a long way. We just need that bare minimum to be there every single game consistently. That fight, that drive, that desire, bring that, and then from there we go. Because we talked about trying to implement something that's complex is probably not the plan with 9 games remaining. You need guys that are willing to kill themselves for the cause, and you go with those guys. So maybe to Tudor's defense on lineup, maybe that's what he's getting from the vibes put out in training. Okay? When you talk about training, though, he trains very, very hard. Very, very difficult training sessions again. Maybe more so than what we were getting with Motta. So it makes me worry about injuries. And it makes me worry about, is that the reason why Tudor has kind of not had long stints anywhere? It fades. It's kind of very similar to an Antonio Conte that will be lingering in the rumor mill, by the way. Gasperini, Mancini, Conte, Pioli will all remain in the rumor mill. There's rumors that Chiellini was vouching for Mancini as well, but the majority of the rumors all say the plan of attack is to try and sway Conte from breaking free of his Napoli contract to 2027 and come to Juve. But for now, it's Igor Tudor, and it's 9 games remaining, and we have to get top 4. Let's see what happens. When it comes to this Genoa match, well, we're going to get into some key stats. Juve undefeated in their last 19 at home against Genoa. That is in all competitions. Juve with fewest league wins at this stage of any campaign since 2011. Grazie, Thiago Motta. Okay?
Okay, we're moving on, Berto. God damn it, we're moving on.
Thank you. Genoa have not beaten Juve in the last 34 years.
Jesus.
Sorry, say that again.
Almost as old as me. Jeez.
Say that. What's that? At home? Like in...
It says 34 years, period. We might have to get a stat check on that one, but it says just period. Genoa are yet to win an away league game in 2025. All right, so
son of a bitch,
brutal.
Everything, and yes, I mean, I'm just reading this shit out, Bucci. I mean, I'm not trying to do this, okay? Like, I'm just giving you the key stats. I mean, I don't.
Gotta deliver the goods, man.
What do you want
to deliver the goods?
We're just giving it for you. This is just for you.
So don't shoot the messenger, everybody. But I mean, we should be getting the job done. I hate that word should, but should. Look, we're going to set the Tony now, okay? Look at the official coming in for this game, and then we're going to get to our predictions, all right? So, Tony, without further ado.
It's been a while. Okay, so this son of a bitch is 39 years old, and Antonio, good name. Great name. Rapuano. Oh, that's like Joe, almost like Joe's last name. I'm like, why is that last name familiar? Not related to Joe. Okay. Excuse me. 104 Serie B appearances, 54 Serie A appearances, right? Basically 5 yellow cards a game in Serie B of the 104 games, 32 reds, 30%, 24 PKs, 25%. Serie A, 55 games, 54 games, 21 reds, Berto. That's 38%. 19 PKs, 35%. But that's not the good part. This son of a bitch is his last 6 games where he's refereed Juventus. We have 4 wins, a loss, and a draw. In those 6 games, Dusan has 7 goals. He has 3 games where he's scored 2 goals, and he has 3 PKs in those 6 games. Dusan's up for a big one today.
Wow. See, what Moji would have done is made sure that this motherfucker was the ref every single goddamn time we needed Dusan out there.
Where's Moji?
Once again, the light is shining on poor management. All right. So, Dusan Vlahovic. All right. And Matt's coming in here saying Dusan will definitely score today. It's just in the script. Well, it's time for the prediction challenge. You guys know the drill, and then we're going to hit Storm the Barn. There's a bunch in there, so we're going to have some fun with that. But final score, 2 tiebreakers. Who kicks us off?
Well, I'm ready to go. I've been ready for like 48 hours.
Fire away.
All right. So today Juventus money line is -210, so they're the heavy favorites today. I'm going to go. These are actual bets that I made. Nothing win at plus 1100. I'm going Dusan and Yildiz to score, plus 42. And I'm going to be, this is kind of 2. So Dusan as the first scorer at plus 300 and a Thuram assist at plus 550. Side notes, in case anybody wants some other betting lines, Thuram anytime goal is plus 470. He's on a bit of a heater. He's been playing well. McKennie, a foul in each half, plus 370. I like that one. I was spreading the Chicoria over all of those last night.
And if anybody's going to gamble, do so responsibly. Please.
Do so responsibly. Okay? Yeah,
and if you're having any troubles or you get yourself into trouble, whatnot, reach out, get some help. Okay.
Yeah.
Do so responsibly.
Exactly.
Now, Trim, fire away, man.
So full disclosure, that was actually my score line and my goal score. So I'm just going to change it up just to be a little bit different.
No, you don't. You don't have to do that.
I just wanted to touch on one thing. So it is almost exactly 1 year to the day that Tudor took over at Lazio. March 30th, 2024, he took over at Lazio. Do we all know who he played in that match? Who he was coaching against? Fun fact, it was Juve.
Oh.
We lost 1-0, 93rd minute, Marusic goal, and he had a 4-4-2 as his lineup. So take that for what it is. It seems like this guy always seems to manage to find a win in his first match behind the bench of his previous clubs. So with that being said, I'm going to go still with the 2-0 scoreline. I'm going to change up my goal scorers, and I'm going to go, Tony, you kind of sold me with that Thuram goal, so I'm going to go with Thuram getting 1 and Yildiz.
2-0 scoreline is plus 550.
There you go. Thank you. So I'm going to go 2-0, Thuram, Yildiz. My other tiebreaker, let's go with 7 yellows across the board for the game today. I think it's going to be a chippy, feisty affair, especially with Tudor behind the bench on our side.
7 yellows is a lot. I don't think
Genoa trying to gum it up in the middle there. So let's go with 7 yellows.
Oh, I like what that betting line is.
Well, you know what? You guys kind of took this wind out of my sails when it comes to predictions because you just covered it all. But I'm gonna have to maybe come up with something a little bit different here.
Well, let's see what the chat has. What do they have before you give yours?
Do we just come out and guns blazing and attitude and everything, and just he likes to play a very aggressive style of game when it comes to Igor Tudor, right? Organized defensively, but definitely likes that press. Likes to get those turnovers, more advanced positions, and put teams under. Do we come out and just blow the roof off the place? I don't know. Let's see. We've got Matt coming in here with a 3-0, a Dusan Worldy in there somewhere. George saying new managers always win. 3-0 at Juve. 3-0 is a good scoreline there. Adam's going 4-1 Juve. We've got Michael Lloyd 3-1. Juve, no more excuses. Dushan with a brace. Cole Miners with 1. Michael G 2-0. Juve, Dushan and Coop goals, 1 each half. Genoa red card. Woo! Chris, 6-0. 5 goals for Vlahovic. Could you imagine 1 goal for Colt Miners?
You're telling me not to gamble? This guy shouldn't be doing drugs. That's drugs.
2-1 Vlahovic. I would love it. If Chris got that, imagine 5 goals from one player. Imagine Dushan with 5 there. Holy smokes.
He's never had a hat trick.
4-0 Juve, 2 goals from Dushan, 1 from Yildiz, 1 from Thuram. And then Mark with the 2-0 for Juve, 1 goal from a corner. Set pieces.
Oh my God. Please, just 1. For the love of God, just 1 set piece.
I have to get 1. At least
set
like
pieces
2 all year or something. 3?
Man, I had so I had this. I wanted to bring it up, but my God, so much has happened that it gets lost in the shuffle. Somewhere along the lines, I think Juve sit at 3 in set pieces.
Yes. And we were
in 22-23 goals off set pieces, Juve had 18, and that was top in the league. In 23-24, we had 16. That was top of the league. In 24-25, we have 3, and we're only ahead of Monza that has 2.
Yeah. Knew it.
Wow.
That's the Bremer effect.
You go from like leading the league in that to absolutely nothing. And it's not like we don't have bigger guys in the line. So like Tudor, if he comes in, a guy like that wants hard-nosed, aggressive football is probably looking at like, what the hell are you guys doing on set pieces? You've got big bodies. You've got Thuram. You've got Vega. You've got Gatti. You've got Vlahovic. You've got even Kolomuani's got good size to him, etc. Like, you have the bodies. Get the job done. Get tougher. This team was so friggin' cute and soft and weak with Mota. I'm sick and tired of it. 3 set-piece goals? What the hell?
Yeah, it's not
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. And we've got to get better there. In terms of my prediction, the fight's gonna go a long way. We should be controlling this game. If we come out with the right attitude, frame of mind, these guys get their heads out of their ass, because to be honest, okay, you guys may have wanted the last guy gone, but he is gone now, and now it's up to you guys, because we're not going to keep a carousel open just because you guys want to go out and party and go through games half-assed. It's time to realize where the fuck you're at. Tudor will do that, and take care of business. It's Genoa. 34 years without a victory against Juve. Okay? 34 years.
I don't think that stat is correct. I think
that's older than I bet the majority of our chat with us today. Okay, that's all. You guys have never seen an L to Genoa. It's time to take care of business. We're at home. Yeah. Big 9-game stretch. We need top 4. My prediction is Juve wins this game, and they do so convincingly. But you might have a Malinovsky goal in there just because, it fits the bill, or Miretti will score. So I'm going 3-1. And I do believe that certain guys put in some positive shifts. Dusan Vlahovic will score in this game. You're also going to get a goal from Kenan Yildiz. Those guys are going to score in this game.
Plus 42.
All right. And I'm going to leave it at that. Genoa today, it's been a long time, and you guys repeatedly get these. So this one's coming right for you. Okay, I hope so.
That's not right.
It's. But then, I start to think about this season, and when we get too hyped up, but I'm not going to get into that.
Let's not forget, it hasn't been brought up today, but the new coach bump. The new coach bump is a real thing in any sports. First game, new coach. Now, after the bump,
not quite the effect of the Maradona bump, but it's a good bump, the new coach bump. All right, so we'll take that.
That's a rather large bump.
Bingo.
That is a large.
Yeah, Diego.
You got something right here.
Yeah. All right. Now, New coach bump. Let's go. Storm the barn. What a way to lead into that, talking about bumps. Okay, so do players actually change how they play depending on who's barking orders from the sidelines, or is that just a myth? Can a top player still shine bright even if their coach is awful? Your views.
Yes.
Skanga?
Can playing depending on who's barking the orders? Yes. Is it just a myth? No. Players respond differently to different coaches. Some play like me. I loved it when my coach called me an asshole and said I'm playing like shit. And I like the negative to make me play better. Some players don't respond well to that. But I think top players, doesn't matter. I think they're just going to, but it depends on where the coach may put them, but they'll still find a way to shine through, like top players. But I think on average, a coach definitely matters.
Yeah. Trim, your thoughts?
Yeah, 100% agree with Skanga. Like, I mean, just playing sports growing up, anyone that's ever played, like, you have different relationships and affinities to certain coaches and managers, and, you know, some will prefer you over others and some will prefer the others over you, and that really affects your mentality and your mindset going into games, so you have to kind of adjust. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I was saying leading into this game that it's going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to see that they're going to come out guns blazing because they're just so relieved and thrilled that they don't have to listen to Mota anymore, and they really love Tudor so far, or it's going to go the other way and they're just shell-shocked. But I really do think that the team overall is going to benefit from Tudor being here. It's a different mind, a different voice, and you're going to see it with guys like Vlahovic and Yildiz, just because he's going to have and put so much faith in them, and he believes in them and feels that they're top players, and it's going to go right to their legs and hopefully get them a couple of goals. And but yeah, no, I agree.
It's I think that players will actually change depending on who the coach is. I think top players, though, I agree with Skanga 100%. It doesn't matter.
They just play. Yep.
That would speak to our situation, though, because if we're talking about top players at Juve, I mean, no, we're building. So it would make sense that you have to get the right guy in there. Because if we're talking about top, maybe we've learned something about Kefren Turam. Because for me, if you're looking at chaos around and you're looking at the guys that were performing, that tells me a lot about those guys, those individuals. Kefren Turam being one of them. That guy, top player. Guaranteed. Okay? But coaches, it makes a big difference. Not everybody reacts to certain styles the same way, too. So it's very difficult. If you're going to be a coach, you got to realize that. And I think this is where the breakdown came for Thiago, is that you can't force engagement. You can't just like be a bull in a china shop and be like, that's it, my way or the highway type thing with a very young roster. Like you can't just, it's not, if he was coaching the Juve of old, it probably work very well because the times have kind of changed. And guys that are in a certain generation react to that more so than I think younger people these days. And I see it everywhere. I see it in the workplace.
Yeah,
a big shift
100%.
In newer generations compared to how the workplace used to be. And it's this frame of mind. It's this perception of how things need to be. But with Mota, I think it was just way too aggressive, way too this or you're out. And you make certain rulings in the locker room that you have to remember as a coach. You'll never break that bond that the players share. You'll never be that guy, no matter who you are, that the players choose you over themselves or others in that group. And I think that's where he fucked up. But everything else you guys pointed out, I agree 100%. 100%. And I mean, if we come out flat as fuck today, I'd be shocked. I would be so shocked if we come out with no, like, intensity. I'd be very shocked. Swadit says, which player do you think could be the biggest beneficiary under Igor Tudor? Great question.
Koopmeiners. I need Koopmeiners to play out of his mind these next 9 games. I'm not giving up. Okay, people called me a Doosan Slappy. I get it. We might get sold. We got to figure this fucking guy out. We got to figure out how to unlock Cope Miners. Because he's too good to be playing this bad. Like, what are we doing here? For me, I'm gonna be laser focused on him for 9 games. He's
a smart, good player. We gotta figure this out. That's why I gotta see how he's used, how things work out with Tudor there. But it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Do we believe that he'll be the biggest beneficiary? Maybe. It might be the guy that's leaving. It might be Dusan, to be honest. Might be Dusan. But Trim, who do you think is going to be the biggest beneficiary?
Yeah, I don't know. I think because I have so much faith in Coop, and I still think that he's a good player regardless of what's happened so far this season, I'm not so much worried or focused on him because I know that he will shine through regardless, and his qualities are there. Like, I don't think he's as big of a flop as most fans are quoting him to be. So I'm not really worried about him. Vlahovic is the easy answer in this situation, but I'm actually going to change it up, and I'm going to go, I think Yildiz will actually benefit from having Tudor, especially after the last little stretch here that he's had where he hasn't been playing much, and Malta, for whatever reason, just had him riding the bench. So I think that he could be a big beneficiary, especially long-term, because, his quality's there. He's a great player. We just need him to be a little bit more consistent. So I think Tudor can bring out the best in Yildiz.
Yeah. Yildiz, that's it. That would be awesome. We need him going and firing.
Yeah.
This position thing that he does and how he operates, Tudor, could be key in maximizing Keenan Yildiz because it's really going to put him in the most favorable position for him. So we'll see. Cambiaso, we'll find back his performance under Igor Tudor. Obviously, Cambiaso with Douglas Luiz eyeing up the Roma match April 6th. Big clash there for their returns. So we'll see. Alex P, I do agree with him. Was doing good even out of position at the beginning of the season when he was hard done by. Could have easily had 5-6 goals at the way the start went performance-wise. And then it started to become this situation where we were kind of force-feeding him in, which kind of created some issues. But I do agree there.
He did break a rib, so...
it's minor. Skanga ready for the Miretti drama on the main today. Oh, boy.
Luca, you son of a bitch. I am not. I didn't even think about this. People who may not know, I normally run the main Twitter account, AJC Twitter account for the games. I'm not. And people are just going to start poking the bear. Because on there, I can't be negative. I just kind of keep it pretty neutral. But I will snap. I probably will snap today. I'm sorry, Berto.
I mean, nobody said you can't be negative. I mean, you just never are. I think that's actually what gets you into trouble there, because sometimes you're like, we got smashed 3-0. We move.
Well, we are.
We'll see if Miretti's had any of those paninis that you keep bugging him about to have. He's gotta eat more.
You know what?
The guy has as much strength as a wet paper bag trying to hold 2 liters of apples. Like, what are we? He's
whatever. Listen. First, are they Gala apples? Ambrosia? What apples?
I was
Brandon
more
Smith?
of I'm more of a Pink Lady apple guy.
Huh?
Have you had the Pink Ladies? Yeah.
Well,
what was the
apples?
What was the other ones?
Now. Berto, you have to have a watch along. Yes, the watch along is happening. All right, we got Trim likes the old ones. Okay, Granny Smith apples here. This guy.
No, actually, that's the only one I know. I did a project on apples when I was in grade 1, apparently. So I had to bring that up one day.
Granny Smith.
I used to like them sour.
Golden Delicious. That's a good one. Golden Delicious. Underrated apple.
What is that crisp?
All right, take it easy. Take it easy. Apple a day, though, everybody. Keeps the doctor away, okay? So who gets a preliminary day today? Is it a Genoa player, or we reverse the rules and give it to Skanga? No internal fires.
This whole day.
Always giving it to Skanga. No, we can't do that.
No internal fire. Let's get to the picks here. Let's pull up these chumps. Let's take a look. Man, is Miretti getting it?
The easy choice is Malinovsky. What are we talking about here? With Yildiz the beef? Come on, it's Malinovsky every day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, If
What's
it
that?
was ever going to be unanimous, today it's unanimous. It's
He
Malinovsky.
took out Yildiz last year, and then he was standing over him and barking at
Yeah.
him while he was on the ground. Remember?
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yildiz is gonna give him a nice swift kick in the ass today. And
Oh, I remember
laughing.
that. I remember that vividly. I made a video about it, calling him such a mutt, and I think every Malinovsky fan on the planet had to comment on that one. All right, but yeah, I don't care. I stand behind it. That guy's a mutt. He gets the day.
Was it like
Four
four of them?
And Alex P's actually going to Moretti for sure. Listen, when it comes to Moretti, he's doing the right thing. He's doing well. He's having a good, strong season. I mean, does it automatically guarantee he comes back? No. Should it? Not necessarily, because for me, it's like the best team available that you can build, that you could put together. Moretti, though, if you're caught between trying to build this team and you need a center back, you need a fullback, etc., then you take the Moretti route and you're like, hey, you did have your good season. You come back, we integrate you. We also said goodbye to Fagioli for a coach that is no longer here, which drives me mental. Okay, he could have been played the entire time. He's, to nobody's surprise, looks good with Fiorentina. Just, it's stupid. It's stupid that we followed suit so aggressively to Thiago Motta's bullshit. That's the part where upper management for me really dropped the fucking ball. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that getting rid of your captain the way they did for no financial gain, no absolute reason, would create problems in the locker room. Yeah, this is stupid for me. So Moretti, we keep the door open, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how things go. Who wins the Champions League? Oh, I forgot all about that thing even happened.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's over for me, everybody. It's Juve bounces. But Trim, Skanga, who do you guys think?
Don't even bother asking me. As soon as Juve get knocked out, I don't watch a minute of it. I don't even know when they play.
Well, Trimmy, who do you think?
It's a tough one. I was, sticking with my Canadian roots, and I was hoping Bayern, but now that Davies blew his ACL out, it's not looking good. Especially because they're playing Inter, and I really wanted them to knock Inter off. I don't think it's happening now, though. But if I had to choose, it's tough. It's tough. You know what? I hate all the teams that are left, but Barcelona, man, they're playing pretty well. So to change it up from, the usual suspects, I'm going to go with Barca instead of Real.
I actually think, man, and I love Luis Enrique as a coach, man. I think PSG could maybe do something special this year, but I would pick Barca, and I think PSG will make things very, very interesting. As far as Merda, they're going out. Bayern's still knocking them out. Given
I hope so. I would love it, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. But be interesting to see.
I just had to check. I had no idea who was still in it. Oh, okay.
Should we? I know, I'm with you. I don't even know when the games are. I think they're next week.
Check out. Yeah,
I think the knockouts next week.
Know.
I just check out when Juve's out. Yeah. It's the way it is. Even Alex said he's with Skanga and says I'm the same. I check out once Juve's out. Should we part from Conceição or should we buy him at the end of the season? We kind of already spoke about this. I would say buy him now. He's still young and full of stamina and talent. I say buy. I'm a buy. You guys are a buy?
Yep.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Even without Champions League, I think he's still a buy without Champions League.
Yeah. I think so. I really... I'm intrigued to see how things play out for Conceição with Tudor here. The part I don't like, the part that makes me kind of suspect is his dad coaching, but his dad's probably getting sacked. So that makes me feel a lot better about him staying. So makes me feel a lot better. Milan.
Who knows? His dad might coach us next year.
Huh?
Oh. Jeez.
If Tudor stays... Do you see the Dusan situation make a U-turn and he stays next season?
No, he's getting sold regardless. His wages are too high. If he's not budging on his wages, he's getting sold. And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
He's getting sold.
I don't see any way it could change. I just see
I don't think we keep him or Colomwani. I think we go get somebody else. I think they're both gone.
Yeah, Colo. I don't think Colo's staying. I don't know. I think there's just, again, going back to the question marks, so many question marks around Juve here. These 9 games, and even, a little bit beyond, lead up to Club World Cup, some of the moves in that open window, I mean, we'll know soon enough, but these 9 games will probably be very telling as to what's going to happen. I also had that question about Igor's lineup that was projected to go out there. I said, if that is in fact what we see, it kind of shines a light on us trying to maybe figure out what we've got with the guys that are all long-term. Because if you looked at that projected lineup and you're like, man, where's so-and-so, where's so-and-so, where's so-and-so, you're kind of thinking like, well, all these guys are the guys that are contracted up, guaranteed. So it makes you wonder. It also makes you wonder if they're using it to gauge and make that separation from Giuntoli and Thiago Motta. Because Giuntoli is definitely under scrutiny. There are a lot of reports. There's a lot of shit coming out now that it's already decided and Giuntoli's gone in the summer. They're actively looking.
Big
but
mistake.
There's also some rumblings that it isn't very much decided, and he's kind of included in this next management move with Chiellini and somebody else coming in. Like there's just a lot of question marks around it. But here, my thing remains adamant that even if you get rid of this guy, you get rid of the coach, whatever, the problem lies above. Because if they want to shoot this guy, okay, let's say they want to take Giuntoli out. They're setting Giuntoli up to be the fall guy for what they asked him to do.
Yeah.
And don't kid yourselves, everybody. If they want to come out now and be like, oh, we don't like that we got rid of like these talents that are doing well somewhere else, guess who had the power to shut it down and veto it the entire time? Sleepy fucking Joe over there, Ferraro, that hasn't woken up for 2 weeks, okay? He's still sleeping. Doesn't even realize we played today. They could have vetoed it. Him, Scanavino, even Elkan. So for them now to try and play saviors and be like, oh no, like, we don't like this, whatever. Like, this isn't you. Guess what, motherfuckers? You didn't do shit while we went through all of this, and now you want to act like that carrying ownership. No, the problem lies at the very top. Period. He executed the task he was given the only way he could. And I will be adamant about that with Giuntoli. He could get fired. I don't give a shit. But up at the top, those guys are the clowns.
I think it's a big mistake if we let Giuntoli go. Big
It's
mistake. Now, I will say
too soon right now.
he deserves heat for Houston and maybe Fagioli. Other than that, he brought in a new coach. Coach didn't work. Whatever. But really, other than that, like
beyond players,
go ahead.
he deserves heat for following suit for Malta.
Yeah,
and he should have drawn the line. He should have drawn the line, and that's why he got too closely associated. Because the Danilo move for me was the big one where it's like, what the hell are you doing that's going to create a disaster? Don't do it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. The way all that went down, and then Fagioli following suit, and even Rugani at the start of the year when you have no depth at center back, you're following this guy's suit way too closely. And Mota should have drawn a line in the fucking sand and been like, no, man, he's staying. We need depth. Deal with it. I don't care if you don't like the guy personally or whatever. He should have drawn a line in the sand. We didn't give a better coach that kind of freedom. Why the fuck would we follow suit for Malta?
Well, because the plan. My assumption is the plan was Malta was a long term plan. Obviously, not 9 months. And in fairness, you have to give the manager the ability to pick his team. Now, if we're sitting here arguing about Rugani, like what the hell are we talking about? Like you can pick and choose some of the players, but ultimately the sporting director has to let the manager pick his team. Now, there were some mistakes, I get it, but it's still his team. It didn't work out. It turned out to be
the biggest issue
As a
that I have,
sporting
though,
director, though, you have to, like, the balance of the locker room is also on you, not just the coach.
fair. That's
yeah,
a fair point.
And if you're saying goodbyes that make no bearing financially to this team and are hurting your depth, like, this is where, for me, it was stupid. A lot of it was stupid. It's like, it's unnecessary. The January window that Giuntoli gets murdered for, which, to be fair, I kind of get it, but that didn't even have to happen if we didn't say stupid goodbyes in the first place. The whole window was useless. It was a useless window because you didn't have to do that. Rugani, I would take 50 million times over than Lloyd Kelly.
yeah, he should have never even been an option because we had a Rugani in house, and that's why for me the biggest determining thing for Giuntoli right now is I still want to keep him for a season. I would, but he associated himself too closely to Motta because, like Skanga's point, he wanted a long-term project. But as the sporting director, you're there, you're on the field during training sessions and even games. You're seeing everything unfold. So for me, the fact he didn't step in sooner and kind of like pull him aside and say, listen, get your shit together, turn this fucking team around, because like we saw it we keep saying, when did we start seeing this trend start to go downward? It was around October, November. So
the captaincy armband was a big sign. When that thing starts getting tossed around, as a sporting director, it's like, man, what is happening? You can't be like, you're not doing your job. You're overlooking the coach. So for me, too closely associated with some of the shit that came from that. But ultimately, I would like to give him probably another year, another coach, at least. But, I mean, a part of me just wants to see, with clean numbers and everything, how we actually actively act. But Motta was brought in to be a guy that could work with less. And the idea was that he would do more with better resources, etc. But the fact of the matter was, the guys, he can't say that he wasn't given something, or the rumors are that the argument between him and Giuntoli was that Motta started to say, these are your players. And Giuntoli said, bullshit. And Motta seemingly forgot that in his first interview as Juve coach, he said, I've already been working with Giuntoli on the Mercato before I even arrived here. He must have forgot those damn words. So, you know, Giuntoli gave Motta as much as he could. And for me, a little bit of separation there. But if he got sacked, I get it, because he did have his hand in that disaster, you know. How long should we give? Okay, so this is a great segue to this question. How long should we give a coach at Juve before saying if they're the real deal or just another chapter? Is 9 games enough to judge, or are we jumping the gun faster than a VAR check? You guys know where I stand on this.
9 isn't enough.
The devil's always in the details. 9 games isn't enough to say he's the next thing, but you know, it could also be very telling depending on the contrast of what we've seen before, you know, which was very Jekyll and Hyde this season. If he gets some type of consistency going through 9 games and Club World Cup, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I want the best available coach this summer for Juve. I'm not going to say that Igor Tudor can't find himself on that list, because he might. He might, based on the 9 games and the Club World Cup. He might find himself there, because there is something to be said for somebody that's there doing it now. But the turnaround would have to be big. And I'm going to be quite honest. I'm ready to break one of my rules of no returns for one coach, because I think he is the right guy right now, especially with the turmoil up in upper management and everything. It's him. It's him. When you get to some of the other options, Tudor could find himself among some of those other names, despite not having a CV that's strong as a couple of those options. But Conte is the far leader if he's willing to break for Napoli. I do that no matter how these games go. As far as
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just, would I say the same for Gasperini? No. Would I say the same for Mancini? No. Would I say the same for Pioli? No. That's why I say Tudor could find himself, depending on how these games go, as someone I deem the best at that moment in time. But Conte is 100% the guy. If he was willing to break free of that contract, I don't care how these games go, bring me Conte immediately, because that also immediately puts fear in the rest of Serie A, and they know we're coming.
So even do our level of opponents play any factor in the next? Because the next 9 games, we're not playing we're not playing the top 4 teams. We're playing all mid-table teams, which is great. Like, we could ask for a better.
But there's some crucial matchups in there with Roma and Lazio. And some
Bologna.
big matchups in there.
And Bologna, who's right in
There's
front
enough of a mix
Yeah.
in there for you to say he's playing all sorts of opponents
I think
you'll get a good gauge on it.
I think the pitch will do the talking. I think we saw enough this year of how Jekyll and Hyde it's been, and we know how many shortcomings. Remember how we talked about the start of the year? We had 1 thing, 2 things to clean up, and then as the longer it went, the list got to where Paolo comes on the show and just rattles off this. I was like, holy shit, man. He's got like 30 things that he just doesn't like about Monta's Juve and whatnot. The pitch will do the talking. And I think we'll know, despite the opponents, despite whatever, because opponents haven't been a problem. Look at our dropped points list and look at the list of opponents. So I think it will do the talking ultimately, no matter who we're playing, right?
Yeah, and the biggest thing in there is, again, we got Bologna, Lazio, and Roma, all teams that are more or less within fighting distance with us, specifically Bologna, Lazio. Like, if those 2 games are not 3 points, then we've got major problems, right? So I think for me, the biggest thing is the only thing Tudor can do in my eyes is actually raise his bar, raise the level of like what we expect. Because right now I'm like, I call it like cautiously optimistic. So I'm hoping for the best for him. And, if he can prove that he's going to be the guy for next season, then great. But like Berto says, come the summertime, if Conte is a real possibility, for me, he's the guy to go for. After that, your guess is as good as anyone's, but I would lean more towards maybe Tudor, what we have right now. It just depends on how he performs in these last 9 games in Club World Cup.
Yeah. Aldo says, first we need to build a team spirit again, and you can't rush that. I think Tudor has the ability to do that, at least. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, one thing that I've been guilty of, I just wanted to quickly mention, is I've been guilty of saying, like, even going back to when Motta was appointed, that, looking long term and we want to be successful for many years to come and building this long term project. After seeing what's happened with Motta in this last little bit, I've completely 180'd and flipped, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit anymore. I just want to win now as soon as possible. So, Conte's not a long-term manager, long-term project manager. Sure, I don't care about that. I just want to go back to win a Scudetto. It's been 5 years. It's unacceptable. We need to win.
Aldo's point, you can't rush that team spirit thing. Conte does that immediately.
Yeah,
he immediately does that. That's the thing with Conte, and that's why I don't care if he's here 2 years. It's 2 years of building something that you've lacked tremendously over these past 4 years that's faded, which is that spirit, that Juventinita, whatnot. So yeah, it's for me, it's clear as day. That needs to be the call.
To be honest, I thought Trim was going to say he was guilty of waking up in the middle of the night and eating Easter egg chocolates with his wife not knowing. I thought that was coming for some reason.
That
I've
may
done
or
it.
may not
We've all
happen.
been there. We've all
I've done it.
You know.
100%.
Oh my God. This was the first
I wasn't going
year,
to judge it.
actually, not Easter, but Halloween. The first year that my 6-year-old actually took inventory count on her candy. That was a mess around. Ooh. But I found a way. I found a way.
First night.
Oh, man.
Just start
Found a
deleting
way.
lines on the Excel file. She'll never know.
Oh my God. Incredible. Will Tudor be able to get Colt Miners working? And if
God, I
not,
hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
If
I
not,
think so.
He's still staying. Coop's still staying.
yeah, I don't. I think he will get it going though. If I had to bank on it, he'll get it going. You don't hit that rank, that tier, and enough with this Atalanta stuff. You know, he'll get it going. He'll get it going. And we look at Atalanta players. I mean, Bastoni, Romero, etc. It's like even Højlund, I never agreed with the price or whatever, but if you talk to Man U fans, they like him. You know, he's on a huge drought though. Like I think Højlund hit a huge drought, but Man U's a dumpster fire, so there's that effect too.
Yeah.
Colt Miners is a good, and when you watch him play for the Dutch side, he's a good midfielder. It was a nightmare, man. And I think even for a guy like that, who was seen as, you know, teacher's pet, so to speak, with Mota gets sacked. Colt Miners goes and plays for the Dutch, bags a goal, and he puts, this was a good week for many reasons in a post.
Don't read into it. But
I mean, come on. Don't read into it, but come on. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? So on the bar, Trimmy, you must have a podcast, and it would maybe be about beard since you got it's quite tight there, man.
I think he's
the
referring
lines,
to
man.
Skanga. I think he's
talking
referring
about
to Skanga.
Trim.
No, he would have called him
he's
Skanga. It's you, Trimmy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know.
Do you use oils? You
no,
like one of
and
those?
Actually, not gonna lie, I'm a little
Skanga does.
Taken aback by it because I'm not too impressed with it. But I mean, you know, it has its moments. Just let it go and see what happens.
Looks good though, man.
Skanga is you. It's you.
It is. See, yeah. I told you. I know.
The beard, though, I am seeing though some grays coming in here. Oh yeah.
There's a
See?
lot.
And I don't think it's coincidence when the rumor started to come out around the dye that now all of a sudden he's let a couple trickle in to kill that. to kill those
settle down.
I have to hide mine. I hide mine.
I got it trimmed up on Thursday. I went and got all clean.
Nice. Yes, Sweaty, watch along. It's going down 20 minutes before kickoff. Want to see you all there. Let's go. Say things go wrong and we do not secure a Champions League spot. Oh my God. Do you think Yildiz, Cambiasso, and Vlahovic will be open to Premier League teams like Liverpool, United, and Arsenal? I believe that Vlahovic is open to it now immediately. And he will be going. If we do not reach Champions League, I still don't think we see a situation where both Yildiz and Cambiasso are moved. I believe it will be one.
One or the
and
other.
I believe that part of me feels like players' will is going to kick in.
Yep. I think Yildiz is staying. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I'm iffy on Yildiz, man. I believe it's going to be what the teams come in for, but what their price tag is too. I don't think Juve's selling for 60, but I think they'd sell Cambiasso for 60, but I don't think
100%.
they'd sell Yildiz for 60.
They'd sell Yildiz for 90. They'd sell Yildiz for 70.
70? You think he's gone?
I would want more, but I think if somebody comes in for 70, it's like they're going to take that call.
Still
I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a lot of Chicoria.
It's like pure capital too.
100%.
So that actually goes a long way for your team build, but I'd hate to see it. I really want to see Yildiz remain.
Also,
I'd like to see Cambiasso remain too, but I'm a realist, and I know that we need one of these big sales. So my preference is to keep Yildiz out of the two, but man, Cambiaso's got a big section of the fan base that say do not sell this guy and sell Yildiz. Tough call. If we get top 4 and win Club World, if we won Club World Cup, so the numbers all of a sudden skyrocketing again for the funds from Club World Cup.
125 million to the winner.
A lot of Chicoria on the line. 38 million for participation, not as high as the 50 originally deemed, but higher than the 19 it became a couple months ago.
I didn't hear that one. 38 million? That's new. I know 125 for the winner.
38 for participation, and like your round robin guarantees and stuff like that should see you around the 38 mark. That's nice. Very, very nice. Mm-hmm. But what do you anticipate for the coaching decisions at Mercato? So, I mean, let's be serious. If he won the Club World Cup and got us top 4, Tudor would probably definitely lock himself in. Mm-hmm. I mean, the chase to go out and spend a bunch of money on it. And this is another thing when we talk about Alcan and Giuntoli, etc. A lot of the decisions were made because of the money. A lot of the decisions were made because of money, and that came from the guys above. If he did that, I believe they would take that option and ride it out with Tudor.
We're not winning the Club World Cup, so
no.
38 million is great.
But if we did that, oh man, you'd have to lock it.
Yeah, he'd definitely be here.
Yeah,
for at least another year for sure.
What are we talking about? That would be so hard. Imagine like top 4, you win the Club World Cup, and then it's like, see you later.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Maybe that's where you set it. But then again, we just talked about it. If Conte's there, that's an elite coach, even if it's only 2 years. But shit, man, win the Club World Cup and get top 4 out of nowhere all of a sudden. And how's the team playing though? You know,
did they come up with a frequency of the Club World Cup, or they're just trying it now and see how it goes? Is it? It's not every year or every 2 years. It's
a little bit different than what they were doing, because they used to do it with the winners of all the continental trophies, right? Like Champions League, etc. And they used to do it that way, but now they've just expanded it, because that was essentially you do it every year. They did it every year. This thing, I don't know what they're doing for frequency, but yeah, it was just every year. Mm-hmm. What are the odds of Agnelli making a grand comeback to steer the Juventus ship? Just nostalgic fairy tale, or more like waiting for Del Piero to lace up his boots again? So the thing with Del Piero is I can't get a read on this thing with Del Piero.
Yep.
I can't get a read on it. Like, he's waiting for like things to be right or whatever, but a part of me is like, I don't think he's ever been offered anything, because I feel like he would accept it.
I think he's happy with what he's doing. He's making a lot of money. He lives in the U.S. He goes to Italy every once in a while. Like, what? He lives probably right down the street from a Home Depot. Like, why would he want to go back to Italy?
Some people say like now's not the time. I'm like, how isn't it? We need like some type of leadership change, like more than ever. And this is a guy that stayed with us, turned down, blank checks and good clubs and opportunities to win a bunch of trophies to stay with us in 2006. I mean, do you think the moment is what's making him back off? I don't think so. I don't think he's ever been offered anything.
I think if he has, he's probably the same issue we have. He's looking at Scanavino and Ferraro and going, I'm not working for these two idiots. Maybe it's that.
It could be the role for sure. Because, and I don't blame him. It's like, fuck, man. Imagine Del Piero working under Sleepy Joe there, the panda bear. Fuck that. So I don't think he's ever been offered anything. With Agnelli, this guy wants back. This guy wants back. 150%. And the odds, very, very high. Very, very high. Very, very high.
When is it's gonna be a bit.
Here's the thing that media, for whatever reason, doesn't choose to bring up or talk about that is happening. There's a family issue, and they've been fighting over assets for over a year and a half now. And the relationship with like John and Andrea is not 100%. Like there's some fucked up shit there. And I mean, Elkan literally brought in the dude that Agnelli, like Andrea stole Calvo's wife, like literally stole his wife. You hire him. Like there's some weird family shit going on that has Juve right in the middle of it. And this is part of it that really pisses me off, is that they've acted like Juve's this puppet in their little twisted bullshit. So Elkan needs to fuck off. Seriously. He really, really does. And Calvo, get a goddamn sponsor, man. You had one
What are we
job
talking?
to do.
You want to know something? Even Manscaped would have jumped in there. They want to sponsor everybody. You couldn't even get Manscaped. Like what the hell?
The
are we
amount of
talking
time Manscaped has reached out to us, man. Jeez, and
Unbelievable.
man, did we ever have some motto? There's like it's some good catchphrases for that one, all right?
Wouldn't mind a new trimmer, if they want to send us something to try.
about?
Manscaped
We
will
talked
reach
about
out
it.
again, I'm sure.
We talked about it. We had a good chat behind the scenes there a while ago, but yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. If you didn't reach top 4, but you won the Club World Cup, would you keep Tudor?
Yes.
No. We'd move on. No top 4? No. Got to make top 4. Have to make top 4.
Vlahovic or Osimhen?
I haven't watched Osimhen play lately. Where is he, in Turkey?
Yeah.
Is he scoring?
Yeah.
I've always liked his game. I to be honest, I've always liked his game.
I liked Osimhen too. I liked Vlahovic too.
So do I, but his wage is just crazy.
Osimhen's
Simply
going to
for
want a
the
lot of
wage-
wage too. We're going to lose him to African Cup of Nations too.
This is the problem. Are we looking at it based on just the player and nothing else? No external factors, not who he plays for, what team he's on.
We're really dragging this out, man. Vlahovic or Osimhen?
Dusan. If it's just straight up, I'm keeping Dusan.
Osimhen.
Jeez, I'm not even convinced by my
Osimhen
answer.
over the two of them. Osimhen.
Even though I'm not a big fan, but he's better.
But I'd rather go a completely different route, but Osimhen over the two.
Yeah, I wasn't even confident in my answer there, so I'm not sure.
Should Juve bring Di Vaio, Italiano, and the sporting director from Bologna like we did in 2011 with Marotta and Paratici?
Oh,
Just get 'em
Paratici worked out great. Yeah, let's bring Paratici back. A guy like him.
Ah, fucking Paratici. Marotta also brought in Del Neri. Remember that, everybody? No.
I don't want anything to do with what Bologna or Atalanta or mid-level clubs have done. Like I don't want to copy what they've done
Yeah.
because it doesn't work.
Club World Cup, we face Man City again. You think we're beating City again? Yes.
Yes, it depends on injuries and how the teams are. I don't even know how Man City's doing. Are they even in the top 4 over there? Are they
I don't
second,
care.
third?
We're beating
Yeah,
them.
bingo.
I think we still beat
Fully
them.
agree.
We're winning the Club World Cup. Fuck it. We're going to be there too.
Yeah.
I'll be
We're
DC
going.
and Philly. Skanga, I think you're making Philly?
I think I might be making the Philly game.
Oh,
It's still
Trimmy?
on the fence.
Philly?
Philly, wheels up to Philly. We're going.
We got Cappuccino in Philly. We got Lewis in Philly. Oh, boy.
It's a party.
We're going to have the band back together, all right? And we're going to have a lot of fun. But for today, the fun is Juve Genoa. Again, no more excuses. This is Tudor's first time as the actual bench boss at Juventus. When Pirlo left, there were many that gave shouts for Tudor to just remain and actually take over the reins. And Tudor wanted it. Well, years on down the road, he gets that opportunity. And, again, thankful for him. Big props to do it with no guarantees. And yes, his managerial career so far is kind of at a little bit of a moment where taking this shot could benefit him tremendously. Let's see how it goes down. You guys, Trim, Skanga, absolute pleasure as always. Everybody, You know, go do whatever you do on pre-game rituals, whatever. 20 minutes before kickoff, I want to see you back here for the live watch along Juve and Genoa. Let's go. We need to reach top 4. We got to spank these guys. I'm not going to give you the key stats again, but my God, we really should be winning, okay? And don't shoot the messenger, all right? Don't shoot the messenger. Guys, take care of business. Today, fino alla fine, Forza Juventus, Genoa.
Set the tone.